right here in DeSoto, Texas. Listen, however you're joining us, we would appreciate if you would continue to follow, like, subscribe, share, and start a watch party with the stream that you see on the screen at RDST Show on Facebook. Listen, I'm with my esteemed co-host, Mr. Brett B.T. Thompson.
Hello, everybody. Today is 8/24, Black Mamba Day. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Good stuff. Mr. LaBrent Sowells.
In tradition with Mamba and to honor him, I put on the Mamba colors of that purple and gold on NBA 2K today.
And Mr. LaClent Sowells.
Thank you, Montrezl Harrell.
Did you go to work today? Again, I'm David J. Harris. Listen, we are licensed to bring you guys a brand of sports banter that's all gas, no breaks, no fakes, and all in your face. Now listen, we cannot start this show right here in Dallas, Texas, without talking about the NBA playoff game of the weekend, Mavs and Clippers, Game 4, series tied 2-2. A 21-point comeback happens by the Mavs last night. Just an effort that is just unspeakable if you've been a Mavs fan. Nothing we've seen since Dirk has been here. And we get a performance from Mr. Luka Doncic that I think is going to go down in history. Fellas, look, Luka comes in hobbled. He's on the ankle.
Right.
We got a crazy lineup change literally minutes before tip-off. Porzingis is out with a sore knee. And somehow the Mavs figure out how to win the game, Clint. I mean, what should we have been thinking going into this game?
Well, Dave, we saw the game live, and it was not looking good in the second quarter. Going into the second quarter, Luka had 7 points and 5 turnovers.
Right.
And like you said, it got down 21. It was not looking good, but he ended. You saw a little bit of the streak when Luka ended with 15 points to close out the half. And everybody still wrote him off. But I said, something special is about to happen, Dave. And boy, did it ever happen. But listen, Brent, it started off a little rough. But then, just like in game 2 and 3, the players on the bench, like Curry, Hardaway, not Hardaway, but who else I'm thinking about?
Trey Burke.
Curry, Burke, they came alive until Luka was able to close it out, Brent.
I'm a Mavs fan. That's all I got to say.
You are.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Lakers fan, but what they was able to do, and like you set it up, Dave, with Porzingis going out, being called out right before tip-off, the angle that Luka had to play with, I mean, oh my God. To tie the series against what's supposed to be the best team, not in the West, but in the league, to tie that series up, to me, I'm trying to figure out, BT, does this have something to do with the great equalizer, which is the bubble?
The bubble.
Is this what this means?
Let's go to Dave first and then come back to me.
David already said what he had to say.
Dave has much more to say.
I got, but Dave, I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Is how much does the bubble play a factor in just me going out there playing on a just a neutral, because they can put the virtual fans out there all they want to. They can put the Mavs logo on the floor, but come on, those players know that. Guess what? We're on the same floor.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to make a difference.
I'm glad you asked that question, man. I think about a player like Maxi Kleber. He is a young veteran. You know, he's not a rookie in the league. He's been in the league before. A young veteran that's being tasked with guarding Kawhi Leonard literally every time he's on the floor. He is the primary defender on Kawhi Leonard. And when you say Maxi Kleber and you say Kawhi Leonard, you're probably gonna say who to that first name.
Right.
And you know, this guy has looked just completely outmatched at times, being that Kawhi Leonard is just, you know, one of the elite talents in the NBA. But you don't have to deal with the LA crowd. You don't have to even deal with your home crowd and having to show up in front of your own fans. You literally just in there and you got to hoop. And Maxi, you know, a guy like him, a guy like Trey Burke, Clint, you talked about him, Seth Curry, Timmy Hardaway. These guys have been in the league. They know what the game feels like in front of fans, and they're not having to deal with that. They can literally focus on what they do best, you know. And for some of them, that's offensive output. For some of them, that's defensive output. Maxey is an average offensive player. He's actually a better average defender, and he's not looked like an average offensive player in this series, but he's stepped up in big moments on defense against Kawhi. Hasn't been great against him.
Right.
But in big moments, like in overtime, causing Kawhi to make a terrible decision on the switch and put Reggie Jackson on Luka, which we'll talk about. We got a whole segment about it. I'm telling y'all that right now. It really is the great equalizer and allows these players, maybe these household names or lack of household names, to play their best games.
Yeah, Dave, I know BT going to talk later, but man, listen, you go from pandemic Paul to playoff Paul.
Right.
Now he goes to private Paul. Because, you know, I feel like that the social media has wore this dude down to where he needs a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever because it's not working. Something is not working. And PG-13 is not showing up, BT. Maybe that's the reason why the Clippers defense isn't as good as – because I tell you this, BT, once they go small, and I don't know what Doc is doing, but when they go small, that's not a good matchup for the Mavs. When Zoo is out there, they kind of have a formidable defense, and they're able to take advantage of that. But when they take him out, there's a problem. On top of the fact that PG ain't really playing good on both ends.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Is Overreaction Monday still going on?
Sure.
All right.
It's happening for everybody.
You sure
No,
you
no,
wanna
I'm about
do
to
that?
shut down Overreaction Monday.
That's all I keep saying on Sports Center. He didn't
ahead.
show
Let
you.
him- let
I'm
the man
just
talk.
saying,
I'm about to
it's
shut
happening
down
everywhere.
Overreaction Monday, and we're going to go to Pump Your Brakes Monday.
Oh,
all right?
okay.
All right. I'm going to get to your point, Clint. But, man, I've been in Dallas all day today, and I've been listening to local radio. I'm not going to give them no shine, though. But they sound so giddy and little and all happy and corny on the radio. And I was at home watching the game, and then when Luka hit the shot, woke up the dog and all that. I wonder, when I'm in Houston, when Harden goes off, and then, like, in Houston radio, do we sound that corny, that weird, and that nerdy?
Worse.
Oh, we sound worse?
Yeah.
Man, I mean,
We used to live there.
Yeah, we did.
all
Three of us.
Yeah.
All right, man. Okay. All right, it's 2-2, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. It's like when the Clippers, when they get a lead on you guys, they stop attacking. Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, you can call it the small, their small lineup or whatever it is, or Paul George coming up small or whatever. But whatever it is, they stop being aggressive. They stop going to what gets them there. It seems like when Lou Williams comes in, he comes in gunning.
Yeah.
And then when he goes back to the bench, you know, they start messing around.
But is that on Doc or is that on Kawhi?
It's on Doc.
Because
you know?
Kawhi is the two-time MVP finals over there. He's won championships. He's the leader of that team. And none of it falls on him.
You're right. I mean, you're right about that. And we're going to talk about Kawhi later on what's trending in RDST. I think, you know, it's money time with Kawhi. I think he shows up when it's close and late.
Sure.
And I hate to bust your bubble, Mavs fan. I mean, I know Luka's shot was great. Luka's a great player. He did great.
Top 10?
I'm not even gonna talk about that. But what's the elephant in the room? Y'all didn't close out another close game at the end of the game. Y'all had a 10-point lead with
You saying in regulation?
in regulation, yeah.
Okay.
Y'all didn't close that out.
Okay.
And you know, you came back in overtime and won, but it should have never gotten to that.
Okay, I have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
Because it was what, 15 seconds left, and Luka has the ball, drives, does a great spin, and puts us up by 1. You know what I'm saying? And so that just leaves
Marcus
time.
Morris comes back. Hit a
Yeah,
good shot.
it was just a crazy easy
Why
play.
were you down with 15 seconds left? Y'all had double-digit lead.
Oh, I forgot we was playing the second-seeded team in the league.
Okay.
What do you expect?
Hey, man.
And then there are defensive team in the league.
By the numbers they are.
Bother
Right.
them.
Yeah. And so, come on, dude. Let me tell you something. If you a Mavs fan, or even if you one of the Mavs players in the locker room, you're saying to yourself, okay, game one, our arguably first best player, got tossed. That's why we lost. Game two, we came back and we blow them boys out. Game three, Luka got hurt in the second half. We could have won that game. Game four, we won in a close game. So not only did we show the Clippers we can win close, we showed them we can blow them out too. So you're definitely confident and can beat the second seeded team in the league.
Let me just kind of add to that a little bit. You're right. It's a young team. This is expected of young teams to go and have big leads and to lose them late in games. And they've lost those games. But again, you have to give credit to their drive and their ability to at least knock out one of those problems. You let the league get away, but guess what? You won it. They let the league get away on the most games, and they lost the game. Mm-hmm. So they at least won the game, and it's just another step to their maturity as they, again, one of the youngest teams in the bubble, man. It has a lot to do with it.
Don't get me started.
Well, look, I want to make sure we talk about the other teams that played. Some big games happened today, big games other than the Mavs game yesterday as well. Look, the Raptors did what we knew what they were going to do. They took care of the Nets,
Right.
swept them real quick. I think the Magic tried to make the series interesting with the Bucks in the first game after they got that surprising win. Bucks have taken care of them pretty well. Really looking forward to the second round matchup with their matchup likely against the Heat.
Yeah.
But guys, the 76ers and the Celtics, that was a sweep favoring Celtics. And I think we all thought the Celtics were going to come out, but I didn't think the Celtics were going to come out the way that they did. And Brett Brown ends up being a casualty.
Yeah.
And
We
now
saw that.
Philly's future is it
Back
clouded? I mean,
back murky
they
again.
got a really expensive roster between 4 to 5 starters. I mean, what are we thinking about Philly going forward?
It's a blow-up situation, Dave.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It's a blow-up situation that's happening. I didn't see Simmons going out causing all of this to happen. Not a sweep,
Right.
you know. You have Tobias Harris. You have Horford. Al Horford. Embiid, who's just I don't know if I want that guy even on my team. The way he's acting, it just seems like they have enough to at least win one game against the Celtics. Albeit, I'm not talking down on the Celtics.
They lose Gordon Hayward?
But they lose Gordon Hayward. They're still able to do their thing, right? But to me, I just feel like it's time to blow it up. That's probably what happened. That's what they're on their way to.
The Philly, I posted about this in RDST. Philly, I think they went wrong when they pushed out their GM, Sam Hinkie, the guy that coined the phrase "trust the process."
Right.
You know, when he tanked all those games to get Joel Embiid and the number one pick that turned out to be Ben Simmons, they went away from his philosophy. His philosophy was to get the big man, the big superstar, and surround him with shooters. Right. Yeah, they got Redick, and then for a short-term deal, and they let him go. But then they spend big money on Al Horford. Yeah. You know, and Tobias Harris, and those guys, their team right now is built like an early 2000s team, like the Spurs of 2003. I like that. So basically, they don't have enough shooting in today's game. In today's game, you got to knock down the three. You can't. I mean, you don't have to shoot 53s a game like the Rockets, but you have to be able to hoist them up and shoot at a good percentage to win today. And the Sixers aren't built like that. They don't need to blow up the team, but they need to make major changes. Tobias Harris got to go. He got to be your main person that's on the block. Wow. You know, you need to trade him for some shooting. You know,
maybe 2 shooters.
Yeah,
got a big contract.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, Philly doesn't need they just need to retool. Now, can him and Simmons coexist? That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, BT. You took one of my points because there's 2 reasons why Philly is in this position. 1, they don't have enough shooters. And 2, there's no real leader in the locker room. Come on. There's no guy to rally them. When Simmons went out, there was nobody there to say, hey, let's make this happen. We can still push through. Hey, they lost a guy. They lost a guy over there. And they're able to do why we can't. You know what I'm saying? Especially a guy like Embiid, you know what I'm saying, who as talented to me, he's the most talented person on the team. And so that output that they did was definitely disgraceful. It might be a blow-up, Brent, with BT. at least just refine, tune, maybe get Harris out of there, bring in 2 shooters.
I think what you said about them losing their leader, or not really having a leader,
Right.
at least in this postseason, says a lot. Says a lot to Jimmy Butler's departure and him playing with the Heat. And those guys are playing great. And we'll probably be talking about a Heat sweep. The next
Right.
time that we get on here and them being in their next matchup. Guys, Donovan Mitchell in Utah, 2 50-point performances in this first round. I think we liked Denver going into this series. Denver doesn't look like the better team right now, and Donovan Mitchell looks unstoppable.
Is Mitchell playing better than Luka Jordan?
Hey,
Look at Jordan.
maybe
I mean, I dare to say,
Yeah.
the man's balling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of those 50 points was in a loss, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the first game.
Yeah. So, but
They shoulda won that
They
game.
should have won that
Shoulda
game.
won that
That
game,
series
yeah.
should be over.
Yeah,
you know?
but since Conley came back, man, they've been a whole different type of team. Conley's playing better. He went from averaging 13 or some points to that averaging over 18 to 20 points in the bubble right now. So
Right.
he's made a big difference.
It's the bubble, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. All I know is you got young players. Even Murray scored 50 points in the loss
in the
that
loss.
Mitchell, and that was the first time a dueling team to playoff game had that. And so you got people like Murray, Mitchell, Luka scoring these points like this, and it's crazy. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely something different.
What's up with skinny Jokic? You know what I'm saying? Does he seem like the same guy? I mean, I don't see him. He used to dominate from the post
Right.
with his passing and
the post and the top of the key, running the offense.
and running offense.
Yeah.
But it seems like in the bubble, it's not the same. I don't know. Maybe losing that weight is hurting him. I don't know.
I think when you lose that kind of weight, I think there's an adjustment period. It's probably better for his
Yeah.
conditioning, but the way he probably felt he played, down in the post, maybe he doesn't feel the same. Look, we know we got the Lakers and the Blazers tonight. LeBron has a huge game over the weekend with 38, 12, and 8. Davis gets 29, 11, and 8. The
Just doing
superstars,
work.
they look like they're getting their footing. I'm really looking forward to the game tonight. I know we'll discuss that at length, but I gotta make sure
Just doing work.
we talk about the Rockets and OKC. That game ended just before we
Wait, that's
started
all
show.
the Lakers?
We'll go back to it, but I want to make sure.
Yeah, we gotta get.
Make sure the man of the hour from Houston, Texas, Northside, gives us a recap of what he thought about what he saw tonight. BT, I saw a Rockets team that looked like they were ready to take control of the series. I know OKC won Game 3, but I felt like the Rockets were the better team in spite of not having Westbrook, which was surprising. But today they tied up. BT, how you feeling?
All right. The Rockets played a quarter and a half of the worst basketball I've ever seen in my life. They got smitten when they came out of the second half today. They hit 8 threes in a row, and they just kept shooting threes. And they decided to stop driving. And Eric Gordon hitting 2 threes. Clint sat next to me, said, "That's a good sign." I said, "What did I say?" I said, "No, it ain't."
You said it's not.
No, it's not. Because Eric Gordon is the key while Westbrook is out.
Right.
We need Eric Westbrook. That's not that's not a slip of the tongue.
Right.
We need Eric Westbrook. We need Eric Gordon playing like Russell Westbrook right now. And that's
asking
him
a lot.
attacking the basket.
Yeah.
Attacking the basket, not shooting threes. And you saw that in game 1. He was attacking the basket, going in. I mean, he's stronger than most people guarding him, so he can take the contact and finish at the basket. And if he's not complaining about fouls and jacking up threes, Eric Gordon is a very phenomenal player. But he's the key. And today, Harden in the second half, Harden did not. He stopped going to the basket against Dort when Dort had 5 fouls all fourth quarter.
Right.
I mean, this guy Dort, he's just an irritant. He's a good defender. He's a very good defender. I give him that. Strong, and he gives Harden problems. He wears Harden down.
Yeah.
And then but when Dort had 5 fouls, just give the ball to Harden and everybody just isolate until he gets him out of there. But instead he was dribbling the ball down and then settling for 30-foot threes. And I was furious today. I'm not gonna lie. I came on the show in a bad place. I really was.
Well, we know that.
Because man, OKC has no business on the court with us. They have no business even being in the series.
That's not true. That's
That
not
is
true.
true.
That's
That is
not
true.
true.
Even
That's not
without
true.
Westbrook.
That's not true because we all knew coming into the series Westbrook wasn't playing. And when you don't have Westbrook on your team, then that brings y'all down to really a 7, 8 seed type of team. I mean, that's just theoretically, mathematically, how you want to look at it. Truth. I'm sorry, bro. That's why OKC is in there with y'all. Do y'all have an answer for Schroeder? You haven't for 2 straight games. You haven't had an answer for him for 2 straight games. So what are you going to do? Because right now they're tied up with you 2-2, and there's no signs of Westbrook coming back.
And you know what's going to
It's
happen
like
is
I don't play well on away games in the bubble.
what's going to happen is we're going to grind out a win in Game 7. We're going to. But if we don't change our mindset, we're going to get ran in the second round.
Lakers.
I don't even think it has anything. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I don't think it has anything to do with the mindset. I just think that it's just what's happening. What's happening is that you guys are burning through 3 quarters, 2.5, and then Harden gets wore down. Come their 4th quarter. You see it. You see the way he's shooting them threes. It's not like he's shooting them in the first half. He gets wore down, not only by Dort, but the fact that him just being the only guy, like you said, isolate Harden. Bro, you got to win more ways than that if you're the Houston Rockets.
The Rockets take 58 3-pointers today.
Record.
I don't want to say we've seen this story before.
What's the average?
But we have. It's close to 50, isn't
Yeah,
it?
about
Did y'all take a game?
Yeah, 48.
Yeah,
something
it's
like
just
that.
that the percentage, you want the percentage to be a little bit higher. Brent, I'll put you on the spot because I know you want to talk about this game. And before we change gears, I want to give you that opportunity. The Lakers look like the superstars on the Lakers. Let me be clear. They look like they're finding themselves in this series against Portland. Portland seems to be losing a little sizzle going into Game 4 tonight. I still think the Lakers are going to need more production from the bench. Let's not even say from the bench. They just need more production from the other players, not named LeBron and AD. And I'm glad AD is finally starting to look like itself because there was some doubt there. What do we got to do to take control of this series and go up 3-1 tonight?
It's already taking control of it.
It's already taking control.
It's already done.
Okay.
I mean, the children are put to bed.
Okay.
LeBron has woke up. I told you guys what this would happen. I told everybody there wasn't a concern. You had people thinking that's right here on this show, right here, was thinking that this is going to be a series.
Sure.
And I told you guys, take it back 2 shows, rewind the tape, that this was going to be done. If not a sweep, 4-1. The series is over. You had your fun in the bubble, your playing game. It was a good story. But guess what? You're crazy if you think LeBron James is going to go down in the first round or even be tempted to go down in the first round, especially when he has the best supporting actor that he's ever had since he's been playing.
What if the Blazers win tonight?
Uh-oh.
Then not everything I just said is not right.
Well, listen. Speaking of the Blazers needing to win, hey, listen, Earl Thomas, guys,
E.T.
he needs a win soon because right now he's at home.
Unemployed.
Earl Thomas gets cut from the Ravens. He got to a fight with Chuck Clark at practice. And guys, listen, if you're sending a guy like that home, like Earl Thomas, he's rated right now still a top 10 safety in the league. Some may even have him top 5. There has to be a bigger problem, something that hasn't necessarily been leaked out outside of getting the fight. But Harbaugh did say that the fight and this altercation was going on for a while. And Harbaugh said it was enough. And the crazy thing about this, guys, is that the leadership from the players backed it up.
Right.
Backed it up, letting Earl Thomas go. The rumor was out there that Earl Thomas is not the most popular player in the locker room, and Earl Thomas didn't take that well. What's your thoughts?
I think one thing, and I'm going to say what I need to say quickly. I heard somebody bring up, this T.O. comparison. You got this player who is just, this huge talent, is always producing. T.O. kind of bounced around. He kind of bounced around the league a little bit. E.T., he's getting ready to go to his 3rd team, presumably. I think the only thing that's different is T.O. always had a segment of the locker room that would back him.
Yeah.
That would come to
Exactly.
to bat for him. And for whatever reason, this is not happening in Baltimore. And I mean, this moved quickly. You know, we heard about this fight the day before. By that morning, they were talking about, hey, we're either going to trade him or we're going to release him. And then the first thing one of our friends in one of our groups talked about, they said, hey, he's got veto power. Nobody is. So either you're going to trade him to a team that he wants to go to and take the contract, or be smart, just wait for him to be cut. Nobody has to take, you know, the deal. So, you know, for him not to have anybody backing him in the locker room, man, that's saying a lot. It has me. I'm cautiously worried about his potential with a team in Dallas that plays in Arlington. Go ahead.
Y'all know I got a lot to say about
Go
this.
ahead.
Seattle made a mistake, and now Baltimore made a mistake. I'm going to reference the Boston Red Sox.
Teach us.
Boston Red Sox. What they
Baseball.
got to do with
Yeah, it's interesting.
teach us.
Are y'all familiar? You remember the phrase? Anytime this player was being referenced about, what did the coach say? That's Manny being Manny.
Oh, okay. All right. I see where you're going. Manny Ramirez.
That's Earl being Earl. Because we're not talking about somebody that can't play the game.
Right.
It's all about what are you willing to accept as a team. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just what it is.
Okay.
He can't hit like he used to. Like in that, you know, that backfield, come up and just blow stuff up, not like he used to. But he's still one of the top ball hawks, safeties in the game, bar none. Tell me 3 safeties better than him right now.
Okay.
You can't name them. So that means you let Earl be Earl. I mean, who cares?
Even if he's disruptive.
Even if is he causing a problem on the field? Now I did hear one thing that I heard, that there was a busted coverage and he came off it was because of a play he called, and they got him on the sideline about that, and he had like he didn't care. Maybe you sure that up, but again, it's kind of hard for you to sure that up, because if Pete Carroll can't do it, who's one of the ultimate players coaches, then that has to be an issue. But I'm sorry. Now is prime opportunity for the pennies that you're going to pay now to get him. It's risk versus reward. There's not going to be a lot of risk. I'm sorry. It's going to be a lot of risk. I'm sorry, not a lot of risk. But what I'm trying to say, high risk, low reward. Yeah. No. Other way around. Yeah, low risk, high reward. We're not going to pay him much, BT. We're not going to pay him much at all if he goes to Philly or Dallas
49ers, Texas.
49ers, Texas. But you got to ask yourself, if you're the Cowboys, do you want to play them or even chance at not getting them and let them go over to the Eagles and play them twice? You got to play them twice.
You see what he did in that Seattle game.
Exactly.
Last year he was in Seattle.
No. That's Earl being Earl, BT.
All right. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Manning being Manning and Earl being Earl are mutually exclusive. I hate to tell you. I had to bust your bubble on that. For one thing, Manny Ramirez is probably the greatest right-handed hitter in the history of baseball. Wow. I mean, he's a top 15 player of all time. Earl Thomas isn't on that level, you know. And here's the thing.
I wouldn't say that, bro. He's
a great.
He played on one of the greatest secondaries holistically to ever play the game.
Oh,
and he was their leader.
I can name some safeties better than him. Yeah, okay.
You hear what I just said?
I know playing right now.
Okay,
all right. And here's also another kicker, is that when Manny being Manny, it was mainly goofy stuff. You know, him double cutting off a ball. You know, it might hurt you a little bit in the game, but it didn't hurt morale. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between Earl. Now, Earl...
No. It hurt morale at the beginning, but when the coach stuck to it saying Manny being Manny, that's just to get the commentators or reporters off of it.
All right, hold on.
Go to your point. Why you on Manny being Manny?
All right, because this is the thing. All right, if Ray Lewis was still in Baltimore, this wouldn't even be an issue. It would have been squashed a long time ago. But Earl Thomas was supposed to come to Baltimore to be Ray Lewis, to be the leader of that defense. And if he's out of control, boy. And you want to talk about him being on your Cowboys? Who in your locker room is going to check Earl Thomas? He's going to run your locker room.
Bring Dakota Prescott.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to run your locker room into the ground.
This is not the same young Cowboys team that you're familiar with, sir. Like Dak Prescott, as you can see on the field, off the field, we've talked about it many times.
That's the man.
He's that guy now. You think you're going to come in here and take over the team? Dak got a problem with that. Trust me and believe.
All right, the problems aren't going to be they're going to be while Dak is on the field. All right, and Earl Thomas is going to be on the sideline causing commotion. Who's going to check him?
Earl hasn't always been this way.
Right.
He wasn't this way in Texas. He wasn't this way the first couple of years in Seattle. Something's going wrong. He didn't want to go to Baltimore. He didn't go to the team he really wanted to go to.
He wanted to come to
he
Houston.
went into the Dallas Cowboys
wanted to come to
locker
Houston.
room.
And if there's, right, and if there's one team that can handle a person like Earl Thomas, is the Cowboys. But listen,
The Stars built.
He has before you. I know you're about to take off, but he's had off the field issues with his brother and his wife. Remember that situation too.
That was in April.
He is not a stable dude. He's not a stable guy. And I'm gonna keep singing this song until he signs with the Houston Texans, and I'm gonna completely reverse my.
I was about to say
completely reverse.
I'm
180.
I'm like, you
180.
You said all of this, but you want him to. But listen, guys, listen. That's on the defensive side.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting what's going to come out of that. But listen, let's flip it. On the offensive side of the Ravens, we have an issue with Dez Bryant, guys. The Ravens came out. It felt like, Dave, that they tried to keep the whole Dez workout under wraps, but it got out. And when it got out big. And so, but the Ravens came out. They said, listen, nothing's imminent yet. But neither side is saying that nothing is going to happen. It seems like both sides is just taking a weight there, Dave.
I think Dez is trying to see how much money he can get out of them. We know
Right.
the Ravens had interest in Dez years ago, before he eventually went to the Saints and ended up tearing his Achilles. By all accounts, the beat writers in Baltimore said that this was a successful workout. I hope Dez is not being greedy, and I'm not insinuating that. I hope he's not trying to figure out, how much he can drain out of the organization money-wise. I don't think he needs it. He's been fine, the years that he's been out. But hey, I'm a big Dez fan. Would love to see him with a star on his helmet. Not happening this year. If he ends up going to the Ravens, hey,
I think they can
I'm with
use him, BT. What you think?
I don't think the workout went that well.
Oh.
I really don't. I mean, I think if it workout went well, it would have been a deal done by now. I mean, and I don't care how shrewd Dez's agent is. And what I'm saying is that either Baltimore must have a number and they're not going above it.
Right.
And that's what I'm thinking is what it is.
I think it's a little mix of how he turned the deal down and his workout. I really truly believe, because they got one of the best GMs and one of the best front offices in the league. Sure. And you're not about to come in here and turn us down and then come back and give us a half-ass workout and expect for us to sign you. I don't think the workout, I'm with BT. If he came in, he killed, did what he wanted to do, did something on those videos that he keep putting out there, he would be signed by now. But evidently something didn't go right.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what happens, because I think they could use a extra pair of hands on that offensive side. You got Marquise Brown. Outside of that, and then the tight end Hurst is coming along. Andrews. Andrews is coming along great there. But listen, there's another team that seemed to be at the top of the AFC every year, but that's in question now with the Patriots. My boy Belichick. And he has these guys and I see Matt, my boy over there, Matt giving you that head there. But I wonder what that means. We'll come back to that, Matt. But listen, Brent, Belichick is doing some options here that we haven't never seen before with Cam Newton and Stridham.
You got to read his name.
Right, I got to read him, and Hoyer. He's thinking that there's a possibility that those three can be on the field during the game, all at the same time.
It's head games, but I hate it. This is terrible, bro.
You think so?
This is not making him better. He has to be doing this because he thinks that this is uncharted territory for the coach, for Belichick. He hasn't had to deal with this in 20 years. Come on. So he's trying to do stuff that, is going to work, head games, throw them. I think it's more so throwing the coaches off, defenses off, what they're trying to plan. They can't plan for them. You got to plan for all three. That's what the head games.
He's great at smoke screens.
Yes, and so I think hopefully he's not doing this to play head games with Cam, because the more he does this, the more he loses Cams, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And that's not going to be beneficial for him.
All right, let me tell you something. There's zero chance that they're going to rotate quarterbacks. Yeah,
Less than
zero
zero.
chance.
Less than zero.
Now he might not. He might be telling the truth. Belichick. He probably has a gadget play or two, where he splits Cam out wide and brings in Stidham and lets him run some sort of wildcat or something. Yeah, sure. But play by play in, play out, series in, series out. Cam Newton's going to be there as long as he's healthy and productive. Bottom line, this is part gamesmanship, probably 80% gamesmanship, 20%, I'm just messing with you guys.
And they can't pull him.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you can't pull him. No matter if he plays bad or good, they have to stick with him for the entire season. But that's the AFC East.
Sure.
RDST is about to do another episode of NFL 2020 preview.
There you go.
And we're going south, not Houston South, not yet. But we're gonna start in the NFC South.
Yeah.
All right. And I just want to throw some props, man. You guys killed that segment last week.
Appreciate you.
Y'all did good.
Especially the dude that ran the segment.
Yeah, right.
That dude was
You
trash.
did all right. But you ain't about to go in deep like I'm about to go right now. Starting with the Saints.
All right.
Clint, what's your thoughts?
I think the Saints. They won 4 straight divisions, titles, and so they are just talented. They're a talented team with a talented coach. I mean, is Drew Brees ever going to slow down? I don't see it happening. You got the best receiver in the game, and I think Kamara is upset. I think people forgot about that boy. I think he's going to show up. And fantasy nugget, I don't know, but I just think he's going to show up, Dave.
I was really hoping that Sean Payton would leave the Saints because, maybe the Cowboys would have had a shot at bringing him in. He ends up staying there. I still think it's the Saints' division to lose, but we know there's another team in Florida that might have something to say about it. And I know we'll talk about them in a little bit.
Yeah, Dave stole my thing. Yeah, stole my thunder. He said it's the Saints' division to lose. For years before the Saints have been on this roll, no one would ever repeat in this. It was so competitive.
Yeah.
A different team would win the division every year.
The team that finished last
Yeah,
for a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And now the Saints have really taken hold of this division. It's their division to lose. Drew Brees he's I don't know, man. He's Rip Van Winkle or whatever, or he's fighting. I mean, he's fighting off Father Time, But I think this is their year. I mean, I think this is their last ride, though. I think we're gonna see them take a step back after this season. But I think this season it's their division to lose.
Yeah, Saints has always had that offense that there's going to be a top 5 offense every single season, with Thomas and crew. And this the way they, you look for the healthy Kamara. As long as he stay healthy, they're going to be a force. You put those two on the same side. I don't know if people recognize this, but they always run on the same side. That way you can't just double cover Michael Thomas. So they allow Kamara to go on that same side, and they run so many things. So in offense, they're going to be great. Yeah. But the thing that's kept them from going deep playoffs, continuous NFC Championship games, Super Bowl, I might say, is because of the defense.
Oh,
but they've gotten better
okay.
with Janoris Jenkins being added on from mid-season last year. They add Janoris Jenkins, and then they just add Michael Jenkins, the Jenkins brothers. Right. They're not actual brothers, but they got the same last name. A very, very good safety in this league, Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah. That's gonna sure up that back end for the defense, because again, we know they get beat deep. That's one of their biggest things. Just ask the Vikings; they can get beat when it comes down to the Saints, right? But BT, I want to go now to the Falcons. Because I'm going to say one team that everybody wants to talk about last. Okay. So we're going to move to Atlanta Falcons, BT. 2020, what you got?
Okay. I don't like the Falcons at all. I really don't. I've never been a Matt Ryan fan. Mm-hmm. I think Matt Ryan is a guy.
He goes up the numbers, though, every single year.
Yeah, he puts up great numbers. I think he's a step higher than Matthew Stafford. I don't think he's that guy. I think he's been bitten with that Super Bowl curse since they gave up that 28-3 lead. He hasn't been the same guy, and I don't think I don't see Matt Ryan. He's and they're in a bad situation because he puts up great numbers. He's too bad. He's too good to cut, and he's not good enough to take him to the promised land. So the Falcons this year, unless they're clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the ball, I don't see it. I really don't see them doing much damage in this division.
Yeah, I see the Falcons. They're going to be. I think they're going to have a solid season. And when I say solid, I'm talking about maybe a 9-7 type of season. You know what you got in Julio. But it's two people I'm looking out for, guys. And that's Calvin Ridley. I think he's going to have a breakout season. And don't forget the addition of Todd Gurley. Mm-hmm. What does that look like? I'm curious to see how they use him. But that's going to be very interesting today.
I'll kind of piggyback off what you said, Clint. I think this is the first time I've gone into an NFL season and there are articles about questions about Julio Jones' effectiveness as a number one receiver. We know he's a guy who has all the physical tools, big possession receiver, fast as all get out, doesn't get a lot of touchdowns for whatever reason. And people are starting to question, should he be the number one? Should they be looking at Calvin Ridley a little bit more? We don't know about Todd Gurley's health. Didn't look good in St. Louis. Matter of fact, going into that season, I know amongst ourselves we discussed, hey, this may not be the year that the Rams are able to get back after going to the Super Bowl. I'm acknowledging those questions, but man, Atlanta's going to have to play New Orleans and Tampa Bay 2 times each. That's a third of your schedule. Those may be all L's. It may not even matter, what Atlanta is going to do if they're the third best team in their division.
Mm-hmm. You go 1-7 the first 8 games, and then you go 6-2 the last 8 games. What's the biggest difference? Giving up 31 points a game on defense, going down and giving up 18.
Right.
You guys remember Quinn just flipped the switch? They called it trying to save his job or whatever, but this is one of those skill versus will type of issues right here. Well, it was all will on defense, and I promise you, if they go into 2020 playing that type of lights-out defense that gets them 6-2 like that, giving up only 18, and with these offenses that's in the league right now, they go in playing that way on defense, it's gonna be really tough for them to be beat, I think, personally. But to the bottom of the division, before I get to this last team, let's talk about the Panthers.
You know what? I think Coach Rule, he's been practicing a lot of raised awareness with how they practice. He's really trying to get the tempo up, trying to get the intensity in practices, to be higher than what it's been in the past. He says he goes in and he noticed that wasn't really something that seemed to be the fiber of their team. So, I think it'll be cool for him to come in the league. He's working with your boy Teddy BT. We'll see what Carolina does, but, this won't be the year that they win their division. I don't think so.
I think CMC becomes a MVP candidate this year. I think he becomes a. What did he say?
Wasn't he one last year?
No.
No, he wasn't. Was he?
Christian McCaffrey?
He finished in the top 5.
Yeah. Well, go even higher.
Okay.
Maybe top 2.
Will he win?
That means that
I
they'll
don't
be winning
know.
games.
Right.
Right. That's why I don't think he'll win it, because I don't think Carolina's gonna win many games. BT.
When it comes to the Carolina Panthers, I can only think of one thing. I think you better let it go. Teddy B. I am a Teddy Bridgewater fan. I've been a Bridgewater fan since he was in college.
Yeah.
I think he is exactly what they need. What that offense needs. I'm not saying he's going to come in there and be better than Cam Newton was in 2015, but he is a general. He is a leader. He is a signal caller, and he is someone he's a leader of men. And that's what he's going to do. Christian McCaffrey, I was the exact opposite of him when he was in college. I was not sold on him. I thought he was going to be the next bust in the league, the next Travis Jervey,
Right.
But he has turned me around, and I believe in him. Those screens that Teddy B is going to be hitting him with, and dump offs he's going to be hitting, are going to be lethal.
Yeah.
They are. They really are. That offense is going to be, and Teddy is not a quarterback that he's not going to beat you. He's not going to beat beat himself.
Right.
Yeah. He's going to be steady. He's gonna make the right plays, and when it's time, he'll be checked down, Charlie, and he'll give you a chance. He's going to give you a chance to win the game at the end. I really like the Panthers are my sleeper in this division. If the Saints do not win it, it's gonna be the Panthers. I hate to spoil the next one.
I hate to say it, man, but BT may be on something.
He may be on something.
For one reason.
Yeah.
Joe Brady. Joe Brady, guess who called the plays for LSU last year in their championship run?
Right.
Joe.
That was a good change.
He was with the Saints the year before that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's calling the plays. Would you rather look at who he has to work with? Somebody like Teddy B, who can stretch the field, somebody like CMC?
Mm-hmm.
I think this team, they may not win, but they definitely be fun to watch.
I don't love the receivers, but keep it moving.
Yeah. DJ Moore is a bona fide number one, but we're going to keep it moving, though.
Keep it moving.
We're going to keep it moving because somebody has entered the other side.
The dark side.
From the AFC to the NFC, this is probably the biggest move in NFL history with Tom Brady now with the Bucs, Clint.
Man, you know, I'm looking over. I don't want to look at Mac. I don't even want to know what Mac gonna say. But I'm just gonna keep it straightforward because I know we gotta get out of here. Listen, is Tom Brady, Dave, still Captain America?
I think he'll forever have that name just out of respect and his place, within the NFL history.
I mean, you got Gronk, you got Mike Evans, you got Godwin, and keep in mind, these are tall receivers, and so I'm definitely interested to see. Now, keep in mind, last year we had this same talk, but about a different AFC team with the Browns. Everybody thought the Browns with all these Landry and Odell would come together, Chubb, and they about to win it all. Well, it's not easy to have continuity in the NFL. And I think there's going to be a little slow start with Tampa Bay.
I'm getting that, and I'll quote Vince Young, I'm getting a little Dream Team vibes from Tampa Bay. I think that the difference is you got Tom Brady, you got the GOAT quarterback, back there. Tom Brady didn't look good in New England, Matt Wilson. He did not look good on that team last year. They didn't have great weapons either. Tom's got nothing but weapons in Tampa Bay.
Matt laughing at you.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction, Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay, he will be washed. He's going to be like every great quarterback that changed teams at the end of his career. He's going to be Joe Montana or Joe Namath or with the Rams or whatever. And then you start to look, whoa, you got some weapons over there. I mean, Mike Evans is a bona fide stud. The rookie, Godwin, that dude, Ray, he came out of nowhere. I didn't notice him until he bust me in fantasy for like 20 points. I was like, well, who is this guy?
Right.
And then, of course, Gronk. Now, before you dismiss the Gronk signing, Gronk is going to be, he's not going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Yep. They got a couple of more good tight ends over there.
They got O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
And Brake.
Yeah, and Brake.
And
Cameron Brake. So Gronk, they could use him in spot places, use him as a decoy to take the safety for a ride and then open up the middle, So, and if anybody can figure it out, Tom can figure it out.
Right.
The only issue I see is no biscuit, no biscuit. You know what I'm saying? I mean that aired out offense that Aaron's has, it doesn't fit Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a timing guy. 10 yards, turn, I'm gonna hit you. 7 yards, it's 3rd and 6, I'm gonna hit you at 7. Done deal. Aaron's is like, it's 3rd and 2, 9 route. You know what I'm saying? So that's what basically I think they might be an issue unless one of them are willing to bend. So we'll see. I'm kind of excited, but I don't think they'll win the division.
And who did you have win this division, by the way? Saints, right?
Saints
Okay.
with a Teddy B, the side of Teddy B.
Hey, real quick, before you switch divisions, I know you gotta say your piece, but real quick, I just want to hear, Matt, did you have a record for Tampa Bay this year? Did you have a? Oh, he typed. All right, Dave, let us know what he say, man.
I will.
I'll just watch the screen.
Look, I'm gonna piggyback off of BT because I had some in my notes, but that's a real good point when you talk about Bruce Arians because Tom Brady hasn't had to really be in another. He hasn't been in a different. Hold on. Is that all he has to put?
There go. That's it. There go.
What'd he say?
Hey,
Let go.
respect.
So 16 and 0, 19 and 0.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
But look though, Tom has not had to be in another. Hasn't been in a different system since Michigan.
Right.
That's when he was in another system. But Bruce Arians still decided to keep his system. Talked to Tom Brady. Brady said, "I'm rolling with your system." New system with Tom Brady. This is something new for him. I'm with Big T. That's what it depends on. Can he get with the Arians' ways of doing things? Because you're right. He will call a 7 or a 9 on 3rd and 2 because the defense is thinking 2, 4s, those type of routes. So I expect Brady though to, as good as he is, I think he can make the switch over. And again, like you said, Dave, the amount of weapons that they have, this is going to be hard to really stop them. And their defense is pretty solid as well. Dave, so what do you want to do, Dave? We got time for NFC South?
Hell yeah, we do.
AFC South?
Absolutely.
We can run through it real quick.
We can do it, and I want to give him his full time for the Texans. Can we just agree that Jacksonville and maybe one of the other teams we don't got to spend as much time on? But go ahead.
Look, Jacksonville, you're right. Jacksonville.
Show us some respect.
The only thing you got to know about Jacksonville is one thing.
What's that?
Fournette is in a contract year.
What if it say? That's the only person we can't talk about. Because all the other teams is just as good as Houston.
I do real quick.
So
Or better?
what's it say? What is?
Look,
Go ahead.
Minshew. The only question is Minshew, is he the future? And you got Fournette playing
He's
for
in
a
the
contract
contract
year.
year.
But again, they're doing people trying to get out of there still, right? But Clint, Tennessee Titans. Let's start there real quick.
All right, Tennessee Titans. Look for 3 players, and they got something there. A.J. Brown, Henry, and Tannehill. That might be the triplets in the AFC. And I'm sorry, they're the favorites coming out of that division, in my opinion.
I'm probably gonna go with Tennessee being that top team in that particular division.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
And,
got 2.
They just won it last year, so I don't see a lot of reason to not have them as the number 1 team going.
I don't see why.
Sorry.
And I'm gonna do something different because I'm gonna let you go last on all these teams.
Please do.
Okay. I think Tennessee. I'm not gonna go as far. I don't think they're gonna win the division. I got the Colts and the Texans as the favorites for this division. However, I mean Derrick Henry. I mean you can't be like Zeke. You can't be a workhorse. You're showing us right now. He just continues to get hurt. So without Henry, you really don't have a Tennessee Titans type of offense. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah. Tennessee, they're running it back. They just pretty much brought the band back. And the Colts are solid.
We never got into the Colts yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. But no. Okay. Are we still talking about Tennessee and that's it? Okay. Tennessee. They're running it back. I don't see Henry. I agree with you. I don't see Henry holding up for 15.
He can't hold up.
I mean, this year, teams are going to be loading up the box.
Yep.
Tannehill, I do not believe that he will hold up for a whole season I think they're going to load up the box and they're going to have to depend on his arm to win some games. And he's not going to be able to handle that.
I agree.
And I don't believe in Tannehill at all. Never have. He had his time to shine in the playoffs last year. Good job. Riding.
But go ahead and
Henry.
transition to
That's
the
it.
Colts though.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll jump into the Colts. Colts are very talented. They're probably the second most talented team in the division. And I really
Some
like.
got them first.
Oh yeah. We already know what that is. But what I'm saying with the Colts is that the question mark is on their defense. They have a young, fast, kind of ball hawking type defense, and they're really kind of impressive. I don't look forward playing them twice a year as a Texan fan. But but you know what? I still don't think that they're the cream of the crop of the division.
I think the Colts, you get a quarterback that is miles better than what they had last year. They've had a decent offense. T.Y. Hilton has always been a question mark to me. I mean, this is a guy that has talent but just gets hurt like way too much.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the Colts, ready to take the division. But, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do in the South this year.
Yeah, I think Phillip Rivers is definitely a big addition. I think he still got some throw in him left, and he could throw that ball.
Yeah.
And so if T.Y. Hilton can stay healthy, but also look on the from the running back position, Marlon Mack. He came out a little bit last year and did a good job. And to add with that is Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin, who they drafted. So they're looking to have that tag team tandem in the backfield. That could bring some problems.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. This is a big move with Phillip Rivers. Now, again, it does depend on which Rivers you get. If you get Rivers last year, 20 interceptions, 23 touchdowns, that's not the Rivers that we know. But the years before that, the last 5 years before that, he had top 5 quarterback stats. So QBR rate and everything, he was there. So with the type of offense that he had, where majority of the time it was Melvin Gordon or it was Eckler or it was the running game
more than anything.
that was taking over, screen game, short game. Yeah. Dude, this dude can launch that thing now. With the offense that he has, with the weapons that he has around him, I don't think there's a team in the AFC South that will be able to stop that offense. Maybe the Texans defense, they have a stout defense, but again, they have to respect the long game with the weapons that they got, especially now with Phillip Rivers. Clint, Texans, real quick.
First of all, thank you, because they don't have a stout defense. That's first. You can't go from losing Jadeveon Clowney, then turn around and lose your best wide receiver ever, ever.
Over AJ80?
And then how many points did they give up in the playoff game?
Who?
They was up by how much against Kansas City?
24.
24.
They were 24
24.
nothing.
We talking about that same defense?
Yeah. Okay, one game. But listen.
He's backing up your point, Clint.
Yeah, I'm backing up your point.
No, okay, cool, because I don't care about that. All I care about is right now. Anybody, including BT, has the Texans winning any type of division this year. It's crazy. You cannot win a division when you have your wide receivers are Will Fuller, Randall Cobb, and Cooks, Brandon Cooks. Okay, he's a top 25 receiver, maybe. So you mean to tell me that Deshaun Watson is going to light it up with those 3 guys? No, you better hope for a wild card.
I'm thinking that the Texans they're gonna have the same issue they always have. They have the only coach who was worse than Jason Garrett at making second half adjustments, and that's your boy Bob down in H-Town BT. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge believer in the receiver core, but I don't think it's a bad receiving core. Kyle played well for the Cowboys last year. There may be debate that he is the second best, maybe pushing for the first best, just because Cooks may not be available. Dude gets a lot of concussions. I don't know if he is going to be enough for you guys to go to the next level. Y'all may need to call this. But, yeah, Houston, your coach didn't change. BT, you don't even like the coach. I don't see how you're going to win a division, and your coach can't coach.
Hopkins thrives in Arizona. The Texans stumble out the gate. Watson doesn't get the deal he wants, and he just waddles.
That's the worst case scenario.
That's what I just put. The worst case scenario. Then you're looking at the GM hat of Bill O'Brien. Because me personally, I'm not as big on him from a coaching standpoint than his GM stuff. The GM moves that he's made has really, really been very, very questionable of late. And I think that's what's going to set you guys back.
You okay, BT?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matt. All right. I want to say this. The Houston Texans not only have the most talent in the AFC South, they have the top 5 talent in the NFL.
Oh.
There aren't 5 teams that have more talent from top to bottom, from man number 1 to man 53 than the Houston Texans. The only teams I'm telling you it's only Kansas City, Baltimore, New Orleans,
and the Cowboys,
and not the Cowboys.
So y'all have a better. So hold on, let me get this straight. You have a better offensive team
He said team.
11 men.
Not
I know.
offensive.
I know. I'm
Defense and
He
special
said team.
teams.
Thank you.
He said team. I'm
53,
getting there.
53.
I'm getting there. Let's just start with the first side. I'm gonna start with the
11.
most craziest. You telling me that the Texans have a better offense than the Dallas Cowboys on paper?
And here's a hot take for you: the Texans have a better offensive line than the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, that's not true either.
Okay. Hey, okay, we'll see. And the Texans, we have a better offensive line, and we have head and shoulders the better quarterback. And give me that all day. Give me that all day long.
We did, and you have done nothing with it.
Okay, now it's my turn. Now the Houston Texans. Let me get into my Houston Texans take.
You
Okay.
didn't get into it?
No, I'm not even into it yet. All right, Houston Texans. This is the most talented team in Texans history, from top to bottom. Wow. GM Bill O'Brien, I give him a B+. He's done a good job of putting this team together. I didn't like the DeAndre Hopkins trade, of course not. But the way it's working out, it's shaping up. I kind of understand what he's doing.
What is he doing?
His problem was that he was wearing too many hats. GM, offensive coordinator, play caller, game manager, all that. Mm-hmm. Well, he's taking a lot of that off the plate. Got a new defensive coordinator, new play caller on the offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator's now calling the plays. Now he's
from his playbook.
He is what the Cowboys fans have heard. He's a walk-around coach. So now he can, because Bill O'Brien has made a lot of mistakes in management of the game, calling timeouts, knowing when to challenge. And that's because he's trying to call plays and at the same time. So now maybe he can manage the game better. But the downside of that is that his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, they've never called plays before. So that's the huge question mark about the Texans.
Are they calling from his playbook?
They're calling from his playbook and the offensive coordinator's playbook. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but here's the thing: is that that's the biggest question mark. Can he harness this talent that he has on both sides of the ball? Yeah, we lost Jadeveon Clowney, but we have guys that we've drafted that are emerging that you're going to hear about this year. Ross Blacklock is going to be a stud on the defensive line. He's going to replace DJ Reader that we lost to Cincinnati. This year, Zach Cunningham is going to be a household name. He's going to be first team All-Pro at linebacker this year, and this guy's going to be a stud. Yeah, he's going to be a 130 tackle guy. I promise you. Wow. And not because the defense is on the field the whole time.
So let me get this straight. I'm sorry to cut you off, bro, but I have to understand something. Mm-hmm. You're saying a top 5 talent, especially on offense, top 5 talent. Mm-hmm. But when the only names you really recognize, if you're a football fan, is really Deshaun Watson and Thompson, who's on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. When we're talking about people like Mahomes and Cheetah, and you're talking about Deshaun Jackson and the individuals on that with Mark Ingram and Andrews and all these big weapons, I don't see the household names or the weapons that you're referring to make this one of these top 5 talented teams.
Great point. I always tell people there's 2 types of offenses. There's the game plan offense, and then there is the execution offense. Like Dallas Cowboys have an execution offense. Every week, no matter who you play or how you play, y'all are gonna run Zeke, play action,
and win,
and do your thing. That's it. But like you look at the Patriots. The Patriots, they have a different game plan every week, and that's what the Texans are trying to do. And I think that's the main reason why DeAndre Hopkins was traded, is because I think that Bill O'Brien felt that Deshaun Watson was using Hopkins as a crutch, holding the ball, waiting for him to get open, and leaning on him too much. And I don't necessarily agree, but I kind of understand. But so now you bring in a new set of receivers. Cooks, Cobb. We still got Kenny Stills as well, and Will Fuller, who's bulked up. So look out for Will Fuller this season. And now these you're going to look at a different person every week, making an impact. So watch out for the Texans this year. I think it's a make or break year for Bill O'Brien. I think he either takes us to the AFC Championship game or we go 4-12.
4-12.
Yeah.
That sounds more like it. Listen,
6-10.
yeah. Listen, coming up after the break, we didn't put enough spotlight on the shot heard around DFW with Mr. Luka Doncic. We got a special guest coming up to give us their perspective on that. We got Cuff and Mo from the Vision Lab podcast joining us after the break. Listen, y'all stay with us. You do not want to miss this discussion coming up right here on the Real Deal Sports Talk Show. See you in 4 minutes. Welcome back to the Real Deal Sports Talk Show, brought to you live from the Bobbisox Lounge right here in DeSoto, Texas. Listen, however you're joining us tonight, we appreciate if you would continue to follow, like, subscribe, share, and start a watch party with the stream that you see on the screen.
Who party?
Bro, that's hard to say. Start a watch party with the stream that you see on the screen.
You did it.
You understand what I'm saying? Listen, we've got a special guest in the house tonight.
Most definitely.
One of our partners, they've got their own podcast. We have Ryan Mosley and Ryan Cuffey from the Vision Lab podcast, also known as Cuff and Mo. Fellas, what's going on tonight? This is another reason why we brought them on the show. Guys, Luka and Trez in game 3 had this little feud of words that spilled over into the media with a close-up on Montrezl Harrell, him calling, let's just say B-A- white boy. And Luka had some things to say as well. DFW by Luka in overtime. Guys, we want to get your thoughts. Let's start with the apology that Trez had before game 4. Do you guys think it should have just stayed there? Was the NBA right not getting into it? Give us your thoughts on that.
Under normal circumstances, I think it probably would have just stayed on the court, but given the fact that they're playing games in a bubble, I know they're trying to do the thing with the virtual audience, but there's no real audience there. So everything is seen and heard. I think that's why you're seeing more fouls being called as well, because the referees can literally hear every time a guy gets hit versus you're in an arena packed with fans, you're not going to hear everything.
Great point.
Doc said it that, Montrez has to be a little bit more careful in regards to the language you're using and whatnot. But it's just one of those things to where we're in a very uber sensitive time in our country, and something that has anything to do with racial undertones or overtones, whatever it might be, is going to be taken to the hilt, no matter how harmless it was. I mean, we've all played basketball. We've all heard way worse on a basketball court. Sure. And I don't think, obviously, Montrezl Harrell meant anything, racially motivated by it. But it was, in the heat of the moment. Him and Luka were going at it, obviously. But it's just one of those things to where the sensitive nature of where we are in America, you just kind of got to treat everything with kid gloves.
Yeah, I echo that. I mean, I think you go at any basketball arena, any basketball court, playground, blacktop, you're going to hear that, right? Now, we're in a sensitive time right now, so you certainly have to tailor back the words that you would normally say, right? I mean, was it wrong? For sure, it was wrong. But that's nothing that we've not heard before on any field, whether that be the football field, probably in baseball, basketball, no different. I mean, a lot of talking is going on in the bubble, and it certainly is highlighted with there not being a crowd in there to dents the noise.
I think that the bigger conversation that I think has been coming out of this, and there have been people who've called the league office about their maybe lack of responsiveness when it came to this. If Luka would have said this and included black boy in place of white boy, what kind of issue would this be? Should this have been something that should have, there should have been some discipline that should have been thrown down on Trez?
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't sit on one side of the fence and say, we want to be treated equally and fairly and this, that, and the third of racial injustice is taking place, and then in the same hand say, I can say whatever I want to say, right? Like, it's the climate in which we live in. So, yeah, I don't know as far as the penalties, suspension or missing time or what have you, but he there definitely needs to be some type of action that needs to be taking place against Montrez.
To Cuff's point, I would imagine at some point Montrezl Harrell will get a fine. It'll probably handle, behind closed doors, if you will. Because, again, I think this is just one of those things to where, like, we're hearing this and seeing this because there's no audience. There's, it was a Clipper or a Maverick home game. We don't see who's sitting courtside seats. We don't see, who's up in the luxury suites or whatnot. So, again, to Cuff's point, we're just in a very sensitive time in America right now. So everything is just is heightened times 10.
All right, can I say something real quick?
Get in there.
As long as it's not about the Houston Texans.
Please.
All right. This situation, let me tell you something. It happened, and my overall assessment, it is what it is. This is basketball, and this is what's said in basketball. Rex Chapman, probably 17, 18-year NBA veteran. He's an analyst on NBA TV. White guy. He tweeted out, he said, if you haven't been called a BA white boy in basketball game, you probably haven't played in a high-level basketball game. In other words, this is what's said. Things are happening. Is it now? What if?
There was a lot of things that was said before George Floyd.
All right, hold on, slow down.
Things changed.
Okay, I understand that, but here's the thing. The question: is it a double standard? What if Luka said it? You know what? It is a double standard. It's a double standard, and guess what? That's life. It sucks. You know, white people get to walk through their neighborhoods and not be harassed by police, and black people don't. That's a double standard. It sucks. That's life. We got to deal with it. We can say certain things that they can that they can't, and they can get away with certain things that we can't. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna say what he said it was right, but don't give me that. Oh, he's racist or whatever, because what he said was prejudiced. It was, but it wasn't racism, because racism comes with an attachment of power that we do not have.
You get thrown out the league
Right.
for racism,
Right.
But for the Prejudice Act, Dave and Clint, I just feel that some action should have been taking place, because we still, again, like Mo said, again, we have to understand the time and the timing of it all. And you can't do the same thing that you may have did last season. Some things you just can't say on the court right now.
I agree with Mo when he says that there's going to be a fine, but nothing past that should happen. And here's why. Harold apologized publicly. Luka accepted the apology publicly. And I feel like sometimes we can kind of get off-centered of what this season of racial injustice is all about. It's all about making people aware, realistically aware about how real this is. And to see those two physically, if you're watching the game, but pregame, Harold comes to Luka, they hug it out. He's speaking a lot of things. I don't know what was said, but it seemed like he was serious and meant every word he said. Talking to him like, you know what, my bad. I was, like BT said, this is basketball. You get into emotionally, you get into it. And so I don't think it was nothing that serious. So I think it was good for the NBA not to take this too in depth, Dave.
I'll say the optics of the situation, the apology, that looks good for the NBA, and I think it gave the NBA a quote-unquote license not to have to intervene, because the cameras did capture this. Now, Trey is very open. He said, hey, nobody, told me I needed to do this. Doc did, address him, about the comment in itself. But Trez took it the next step and did the apology before the game. And hey, if Luka is good with it, I guess America needs to be good with it. Cuff, I want to throw it back to you guys. Fast forward, the game gets played. We go into overtime. Luka hits the shot. We'll figure out what we want to call it. It's
3.7.
Referencing, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT.
Oh, Lord.
But you guys, it's up for debate now if this is the beginning of Luka's legend. Where are you guys standing on this? I mean, this is his first big playoff moment. Where is Luka right now in your mind? What did that moment mean for you?
I think it legitimized a lot of things that people have been saying about him even before he was drafted, to the Mavericks. Like, I used to work in the sports radio industry, and I heard about Luka the year before they drafted him. Everyone was talking about, okay, you guys going to go spend free agent money? And the whisper was like, no, we found a kid overseas who's, been playing with grown-ups since he was 14 or 15 years old. I think DFW can truly say we have, in the next another year or two, a true top 5 or 6 player in the NBA. Somebody to where if you're a real basketball player, you understand his skill set, you will probably want to come play with him. You got a guy who can go get 35 or 40, but has no problem dishing out 15 assists in a game. If that's what it calls for.
Great point.
It's just really going to come down to how much more does he grow, because he's going to be able to play forever, because his game's not based off athleticism. He's just an actual he's a hooper, right?
Yeah.
Like he just goes where you aren't. It's going to come down to what pieces can Mark Cuban and Donnie Nelson put around him for the long term, and we'll just kind of see how that plays out over time.
Yeah, I think he's arrived. I think we're here. I mean, we got to keep in account that he's 21 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, the things that he's accomplishing, Jordan hadn't accomplished at that age. Magic hadn't accomplished that at that age. Bird never accomplished that. And the great one, the king, hadn't accomplished at that age. And I really think it speaks to the evolution of basketball in general, the fact that we're bringing people from overseas. Used to be, when the Dream Team and Dream Team 2 was out, those European-type players would really take a backseat and kind of feel things out. And then maybe year 3, year 4, year 5, now they blossom into this, major wrecking ball in the league. But Luka ain't waiting for nobody. Right. He's taking no prisoners. He's putting everybody on notice, and that's what I love about him. And David, we've talked a bunch about Mavs, and big Mavericks fan. It's an exciting time for the city. To Mo's point, I think that Dallas is going to be a main attraction now because you got a young kid that can give you a triple-double any given night of the week, and you're going to get fed the rock.
BT, you over there, you got this smirk on your face, and I know that the camera may or may not be catching. Oh, it's catching now. You got your head down, you got a little smile on your face.
That's just because Oklahoma City's about to come back and beat Houston. He's nervous.
And I'm with you 100% on that, Mo. I told that boy, especially without Russell Westbrook. But listen, BT, I'm interested to know about I started to call you a hater, but I'm interested to know the NBA fan outside of Dallas, seeing a game like that they saw from Luka on yesterday. What is your perception of this young 21-year-old second-year player in the league and his quote-unquote arrival on the NBA postseason stage?
In the words of Shaquille O'Neal, he's nice. He can play.
And that's it?
No, man. Luka's great. He's a great, extraordinary talent. Yeah. I think he's really incredible. I think his handle for the game, the game is already slowed down for him at this age. It's really pretty much. I mean, the only person I can say that about was somebody like LeBron James, and it's really incredible to see where he is at this point of his career. However, in my Stephen A. voice, all right, let's allow him to accomplish some things before we start crowning him. I like what Mo was saying. In 2 or 3 years, he could be a top 5 player. I like that. I agree with that 1,000%. And as you're gonna hear some of this ridiculous talk and what's trending in RDST coming up, but like there are people out here saying, trying to put him above guys that's led their teams to Western Conference Finals. We got to be real. Luka has won a whole 2 playoff games in his career. I know he's only 21. I know this is only his second year in the league, and his trajectory, and is really through the roof. But let's see if he gets by these Clippers. If he gets by these Clippers, you'll hear me give him more accolades.
Mo brought up a great point. Mavericks have been very, very unsuccessful in landing big fish or just free agents in general. Luka put on a show in the audition that definitely caught everybody's attention.
A lot of people talking about it.
Come to Dallas if you want to win something. Because I look, I love the Mavs, but at their current state, they can't go on any kind of run for some years with their current roster. But right now, with what Luka, the Mavs can lose out. They can lose. They can lose the next 2 games, lose the series. And I think Luka's done enough to bring some more talent
Let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Luka, right now, not in 2 to 3 years, right now, Luka is a top 10 player in the NBA. I'm slotting him in anywhere between 5 and 7, maybe 8. But he's a top 10. And I can point out the list for you, BT, if you want.
Run it down.
Okay,
Real quick.
First, thank you, David.
Go ahead.
All right. So let's all talk about this for a quick second. We got LeBron James, barely. You got Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You got James Harden, Kawhi Leonard.
Still forgetting the big name.
Yeah.
Let's just
Where's KD
the
at?
Greek Freak, obviously. Mm-hmm. Let's just say Durant.
Put the slim reef.
Let's just say.
Let's just say.
Where Luka
At least
at?
you got him in there. That's 6.
All right, 6. I go Anthony Davis.
Okay.
All right, I go Anthony Davis.
Dame.
I go Dame.
Okay. We're getting close to this out of this top
And
10.
then after Dame, because me personally, I'm putting Dame. I know people are hot on Dame right now because of the bubble play.
Right.
But
Russ.
right there, Luka's right there.
Oh, number 9.
Luka is right there at number 9.
Ooh.
You cannot. What, Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, the guy averaged 3 triple doubles in a row.
Russ is not even in the top 10, bro.
He's not even in the top 10. He's number 9 right now in the league, in the NBA. And let me pause here for a second. We'll talk to my cousin. James, I love you, bro. I love you more than any other brother would. But you wrong. KP is not the best player in Dallas. It is Luka. If you was to switch the roles.
Oh my God.
If you was to switch the roles on that game 4 and Luka was out and KP was in, do you think that would happen? Do you think we'll win that game?
Didn't y'all make the big charge come back with with Luka on the bench?
You talking about in game 1?
Was it game 1?
No, not game 1. You talking about the game the Clippers won was game 2.
Yeah.
Too.
It went no. It's game 3.
Yeah, game 3.
Mavs won game 2.
Yeah.
That was the game we played well when Luke was on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
Game 3.
So maybe so.
No, that's
Nah.
not it. Chill out, bro. So,
All right.
I mean,
I'm not sure why this. It's not a debate. Let's just start there. We got a good friend of the show, who will
love
say
him,
that
bro.
KP is the best
That's my boy.
on the team. But I think yesterday that argument is scrapped for anybody in the minority who thinks that. Want to throw it back to Cuff Mo, guys. Any final thoughts that you have on that? And then you guys have a great event coming up this weekend. Why don't you let us know
most
about it?
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited. This Saturday, August 29th, 8:30 at the Irving Golf Club. The address is 2000 East Shady Grove Road in Irving, Texas. We've got our annual golf classic. We're super excited about it. It benefits both the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of North Texas as well as the Alzheimer's Association. So proceeds will go to benefit them. We're just going to get out, have a good time, smoke some cigars, play golf, have your favorite cocktail or beverage while you're out there on the golf course, network, meet some new friends, right? That's really what it's all about. We've got food, so obviously we're here in Texas. The barbecue is going to be off the chain.
Yes.
We've got brisket. We'll have some chicken out there, some pulled pork, and then obviously your sides. But it's really a great opportunity to meet people here in the DFW Metroplex, play golf, have your favorite cigar. And I want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors that obviously if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to make this event happen and possible. So shout out to Dallas Leaf LLC, Class A Vodka, The Rival by Ken Hamlin. That's the former Dallas Cowboy Ken Hamlin. Sunbelt Pools, NBL title, Grapevine Cigars, the Robert Garcia Agency of Farmers Insurance, Drew Estate, the Driveway Company, Uru Golf Clothing, and ASI. I leave anybody off?
No, I think that covers it. And obviously, if we forgot anybody, we promise we apologize. Charge it to our heads, not our hearts. Cuff's right. We've put a lot of work into it. This has been a 2-man operation. Originally was scheduled for Father's Day weekend. Obviously, pandemic affected everybody, but we've continued to push through, as the theme of our show is, and push through no matter what happens to you. And it's gonna be a great afternoon, early morning, I should say. And he's right. Get out there, network, smoke some cigars, hit the links. We're feeding everybody who comes out. Like, it's gonna be a great event. It's definitely setting the stage for some bigger things we have in the works.
Speaking of things that are in the works, to all of the RDST followers, anyone that's tuning in right now, Mo and I have decided we will give away 2 complimentary tickets to this weekend's
Nice.
event. That is $100 per ticket value.
Wow.
Y'all said it was
Okay.
free food too.
Free food as well.
Absolutely.
So that's $200. We will be raffling this off. Now, I want you guys to put this in your phones and write it down. Write down at the Vision Lab Podcast on Instagram. I'll repeat that for you. At the Vision Lab Podcast on Instagram. Send us a DM. Make sure you follow us, number one. Send us a DM, and in the DM say TVLP Golf. TVLP Golf. All right? That'll put you into our raffle. It will be random. We'll select the winner, and whoever that is, we'll let you know. You get 2 free tickets to this weekend, August 29th, which is Saturday, 8:30 at the Irving Golf Club. For all the RDST followers, certainly want to support the show. Love what you guys are doing. We want to see RDST and TVLP continue to collaborate. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, we had you guys on the show, so any of the RDST followers, make sure you check their episode out. Available on all streaming podcast platforms. So, again, TVLP Golf. Follow us on Instagram at the Vision Lab Podcast, and we're also on Facebook. Do a little bit of Twitter as well.
Before you guys go, you guys gonna be playing with any handicaps this weekend?
Yeah, we got everybody's gonna be flighted.
Yeah.
So cash prizes will be out. We'll have raffle gifts.
We got some good stuff too.
We got a lot of fun,
This isn't
cool
going to be
stuff.
when you show up to a raffle and like, oh, they gave me a $5 Starbucks
no,
card.
no,
No.
no.
We
We
got
do it
some
right.
really good stuff.
We do it right.
For you domino players out there, we've got something really special for you. Cigar smokers, we've got some stuff for you guys. Like, it's going to be a really, really great event. We look forward to it.
And look, we'll do you guys a solid. We'll cut this part of the video up so that you guys have this. You can put it on your social media, put it everywhere, and however you guys do the raffle. Hey, good luck to all of those who get in that. Listen, I am the brother-in-law of Cuff, but I will say I 100% endorse their podcast. I mean, they're talking about a wide array of topics, and it's just a really good opportunity to get little drops and nuggets, as they say, of information from people who are creators, entrepreneurs, you name it, they got it. So appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And we know this won't be the last time that we collaborate.
Thank
sure.
you, sir.
B Tizzle, what is trending in RDST?
What's trending in RDST? As you know, that this is RDST is a fun trip sometimes. It's a wild ride from time to time. And it was no different. And we're gonna piggyback off the Luka shot
As you
word around the world. All right, we're gonna start with Travis Warthen Sr. What's up, Travis?
What up,
RDST, Travis Warthen Sr. And this is what I've been talking about, what I've had to deal with since the Luka shot. He says, Luka is better than Harden. I said what I said.
Didn't he say it with his chest?
He said what he said.
He said what he said with his chest. Man, I mean,
I don't see no problem.
yeah.
What's wrong with that?
All right, I understand what you say. But okay, now a leveler head. Let me shout out to Arthur Lattimore. Arthur Lattimore says Luka has a better supporting cast, a better coach, and has and how many years has Harden played with another All-Star on his squad, and always has had his team at the top of the division and at the top of the Western Conference. When Luka starts dragging his team to the Western Conference Finals, that's when I'll entertain that comparison. You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I believe. All these accolades are coming out of the woodwork. Stephen A. Smith even came out. He said Luka's the best white dude since Larry Bird, and he doesn't want to hear nothing about Dirk Nowitzki or Manu Ginobili or nobody else. He's on a whole nother level than that. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Luka right now? Well, and comments like that.
I think we are going a little overboard, but again, we're living in the moment, which is fun about sports. That's what makes sports is great. Is you're living in the moment. We're talking about a great shot that happened. I mean, come on, BT. This wasn't in the regular season. This was a playoff game.
Overtime.
For overtime. That got into overtime. I mean, that won an overtime game against a formidable opponent. A team that they should have no business being in.
Without your second best player.
Without your second best player. Right. Let us live in the moment. No, next week we can lose a series. No, we won't be talking about Harden better than Luka. But Luka is that guy that's on his way.
You wait. And I tell you another thing, BT. Sometimes you got to understand when people are saying who's better than who, sometimes it's not all about accolades and how many seasons have you played. Sometimes they're looking at it from a pound-to-pound perspective, skill to skill perspective. That's how they're looking at it. And if you're looking at it from that perspective, you put Harden and Luka on the court one-on-one.
Harden knows to destroy him.
No.
Yes. Who has a better shot?
I don't know.
Oh, who has better handles?
Luka.
Who's strong? No. Who's stronger?
Luka.
No.
I say you this. Every question you're going to ask, I'm going to say Luka.
Save it, bro.
Save it.
All right, let me give you some Mavs history. When was the last Mavs buzzer beater in the playoffs?
I know Vince Carter, 2016 against Spurs.
How did that series end?
We lost.
Now, if y'all
Who
go
was the better team?
All right, you're right.
Yeah,
all right,
Spurs
if
were
y'all
favored.
go on and not to win, to not win the series, that's why it kind of falls on deaf ears. That's why, like, you look at like
But
what
it won't be because of Luka's fault, though.
You're right. It won't be Luka's fault.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the player.
But look at guys like Dame. People are trying to shoot him. People are trying to shoot him in the head of guys like Dame Lillard, who had walk-offs of buzzer beaters in 2 series against the Rockets and against OKC. So that has a little bit more weight than what Luka did the other day.
None of them got
Let me
weight
tell
because
you.
none of them have hardware to have on them.
Let
to
me
have
tell you.
weight.
Let me tell you what's happening. Emmitt Smith. I'm gonna take you a little further back. Emmitt Smith takes his team and wins the NFC title with a separated shoulder. Right?
Right.
Dirk, a few years back, plays against the Spurs in a playoff game, picks up a tooth while scoring 30 points. Let me tell you something else. Nolan Ryan, with the brawl against the Chicago White Sox.
Robin
Bloody
Ventura.
nose. I know you got the picture in your room. Still throwing heat to win the game. And now you got Luka that has a hurt ankle and comes back the next game and drops a triple-double, scoring 40 points to win. Boy, don't talk to me about Luka versus Harden. It's Luka all day, buddy.
All right, I could I got a laundry list of stuff with Harden has done, but I'm not even going to get into it because it's not worth it. Moving right along.
Oh, I thought that was the end of the show.
Moving right along. No, it was Trinity RDST. Shout out to Roderick Stewart, longtime member of RDST, good friend of mine.
What up,
What
Rod?
up, Big Stu? He said, "Is it official? Is it officially time to stop calling Kawhi Leonard a defensive stopper or even a two-way player?"
He's been in the league for a minute though now. I mean, wear and tear. I mean, you can't keep up that type of defensive intensity. If you saw LeBron used to play
Perfect example.
Yeah, LeBron used to play great on both ends, but in order to reserve what he needs on offense, he can't do that on defense. He can't even guard the best player anymore. So
I mean, and let's just call it what it is. Pandemic P has not been showing up. And it's wearing Kawhi down. Now, we're saying it's wearing it down, and he still had, a remarkable game yesterday. And he's carrying the Clippers. I think there's a lot to be said without your boy Patrick Beverly, who's just running around getting musty, playing defense on the perimeter. I think it's something to say that he's not in the game. Kawhi in spurts is taking on the Luka challenge, and Luka's outplaying him, a lot in some regard in those spurts. But he's also carrying his team. I think it's a little bit far to say that he's not a two-way player anymore. I love to have him on my team right now. Absolutely, as a two-way player. But he's. I'm not gonna say he's met his match. I can't say that. This man, he's a 2-time Finals MVP. I'm not gonna say that. But Luka is making him earn it, man. And in some plays, he's looking like the second best player on the floor. But I still say the Clippers, they can still be in control of the series if they can win this next game. They better not let Luka do what he does, though.
Thank you, Dave. It's hard to defend. I don't care how good you are. It's hard to defend the best offense in the league, statistically. Yeah. So, I mean, to say he's not a two-way player, I think that's ludicrous. He's still a great two-way, especially perimeter-wise. Mm-hmm. He's still one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, BT. So I definitely disagree with that.
In the games that the Rockets have played the Clippers and Kawhi has been out there, he doesn't guard James Harden. He doesn't even guard Russell Westbrook. He usually hangs out on the corner on PJ Tucker. I'm like, man, I mean, maybe it's because it was regular season games. Maybe that'd be different in the playoffs. Hopefully we'll get to see, but we'll see. But I think that the myth of him being the claw and locking down people, I think that's gone. I really do. I think he guards guys in spurts, and he does a good job when he does. But full-time two-way player, no. I think he exerts too much. He has to carry too much load on the offense to do that.
yeah, he was able to do that in San Antonio.
In San Antonio when he didn't have to score as much. Absolutely.
That's a good point.
And that'll do it for what's trending in RDST.
Well, good job, BT. We appreciate that. Listen, everyone who's been tuning in again, thank you for following, liking, sharing, subscribing, starting a watch party with the stream that you see on the screen. Said it, Clint. Got it. On this episode of the Real Deal Sports Talk Show. Listen, we will be back next week. I'm pretty sure Brent is going to be geeked to preview the AFC East and the NFC East.
I need 30 minutes.
Featuring your Dallas. You took 30 minutes tonight. You're going to have to do it in 20
And I'm going to
minutes next week.
have an interesting take on the Cowboys next week. Get ready, Clint.
Come for me.
Breaking news. BT's going to have an interesting take on the Cowboys. Listen, we'll see y'all next week. at
All right.
RDST Show
Hey, Dave.
on Facebook and the Real Deal Sports Talk Show on YouTube, bringing you a brand of sports that's all gas, no breaks, no fakes, and all in your face. See you next week. Peace. Good show, fellas.
Great show.
Coffee Mo.